Social anxiety is something that affects so many of us in our day-to-day lives. And I know it can be something that doesn't allow us at times to be the person that we really want to be. I'm going to use this video to break down what social anxiety is, what I learned along the way, and possible solutions that you can use to help you in your journey of tackling social anxiety. So, social anxiety is, in its most basic forms, the anxiety that we feel, or the anxiousness we feel, or the nervousness we feel when we're around other people, when we're amongst a crowd of people, or just socializing with other people in general. This nervousness usually stems from more deeper issues. That's what I've come to find. Usually we find that we're anxious among people, we're anxious presenting, we're anxious speaking, because we don't feel confident in who we are. We also over speculate the opinions of what other people may think about us, and we use those as a way to judge ourselves. We think that if we do socialize with other people, they may think we're not cool, they may think we're not good enough for that group, they may think that we're not fit for them. And these are things that we always think about. Even I thought about that when I was growing up, as I struggled with this at times too. And I think another thing about social anxiety is that it also stems from the idea that we could have had past traumas, past issues that we've not resolved completely. And these usually stem in more physical manifestations. So what do I mean by that? For me, I've noticed when I was growing up, if I went to a certain place where there were a bunch of people and I was nervous or anxious to go there, I would find tension in my body, like in this area, or just tension maybe in my face a little bit, just some sort of physical manifestation in that sense. And that would ultimately trigger me being a little anxious. I know this is something that can happen to a lot of us as well. So being aware of those physical symptoms initially allows us to know the trigger points to our social anxiety. It allows us to alleviate it before it happens. And that's something that was really powerful for me to understand and know while I was navigating through this. I'm at a better point in time where I can now feel better about who I am so that I can provide more value to other people and not feel afraid to share my voice as I'm doing today through this YouTube channel and this YouTube video. And I'm hoping that this can help you build that confidence in who you are as well, so you can take those actionable steps to engage with people that truly bring value to you. And that leads me to my final thing, which is engage with people that really align with who you are. Sometimes our social anxiety stems from being with the wrong people, being with the wrong groups of people. So we consistently get anxious because we have to associate with them over time. And we feel like we're trapped in that cycle and we can't break from it. So sometimes just the aspect of not engaging with those people and finding better people that are more suitable for you alleviates your symptoms of social anxiety. And another thing is the idea of just taking the actionable steps of just putting yourself out there. I know that's a lot to do initially, but slowly over time, as you take slow steps in that direction, it allows you to be more confident and not be as anxious. So what do I mean by putting yourself out there? For me, I started public speaking. That was something that I was anxious about initially, but I started putting myself in a position where I would publicly speak to a group of people. It started out small, and over time it elevated to larger groups. So that trains me to condition myself to be more prone to talking to people. By starting out smaller, it doesn't put as much pressure on me to do really well, or doesn't put the pressure on me to feel like I have to live up to this high standard. I can just be free in who I am and just provide the message that I need to provide. And that's initially what I did. What you'll find is that one or two people will find value in the message that you bring. For me, some of the solutions that I found tackling this in my own life is the idea of being aware. That's where it usually starts from, just being aware of your symptoms. Like I said, there are physical manifestations. You may feel tension, tightness. Being aware of those symptoms is really good, because what I found is that sometimes when I feel that tension or tightness, I just find myself just taking a deep breath, being aware of my surroundings, being mindful of my surroundings, and that takes me back to the present and slowly detaches me from my thoughts. I know it does take practice, because initially it doesn't always provide the benefit, but it does as you do it more and more. And that's what's helped me over time. So when I'm going to social events and I may feel a little anxious, I just take that step for myself, take a few deep breaths in, gain awareness of my surroundings, take note of three things in my surroundings. It could be something that you can feel, something you can see, something you can touch. And that just grounds me to be, like I said, more in the present moment. The physical side of it, where I feel the tension or tightness, I usually just provide techniques such as just gently just moving my hand in that area while I take a deep breath in and out. And just allowing that tension to slowly resolve over time. As that tension slowly resolves, it actually helps my anxiety feel a little bit better as well. So that's something else that's really helped me as well. And for me, it's the idea of when I started taking these steps to put myself out there, that I realized that people don't really care in the way that you may think they do. Because I think we overthink things and over speculate things. We think that people are always thinking about us, but in reality, they really aren't. Not everyone has the time to think about us all the time, and we're not the main character in everyone's lives. And that's really important to realize, and it will allow you to feel better about yourself when you are taking the action to tackle your social anxiety. So these are some of the steps that I've taken. Like I said, I'm someone who found myself struggling growing up. I didn't put myself out there all the time. I struggled with presentations. I struggled with public speaking. And I also at times struggled just being in groups of large people. Not knowing what to say, not knowing how to engage myself, things of that sort. Things that all of us may struggle with. So I hope this video can provide you with some sense of insight, some sense of relief, some sense of hope that you can get through this issue. It's not permanent. It's something that you can fix and resolve over time. So feel free to share your story of how you may be dealing with social anxiety, what you've done to possibly alleviate it, and I'm sure that can help someone else grow in their own life as well. So feel free to subscribe to the channel as well, and I'll catch you on the next video. Thanks.